Bitcoin falls to a key level today, and we got a new partnership between Nvidia and ARM Holdings. All right, so I don't want to hold you guys. I want to get right to it. But before we start, make sure you like this video, make sure you follow, hit that notification button so you know exactly when I'm posting. And of course, make sure you follow me on all of my social handles. Last but not least, if you like what you hear and what you see on this episode, make sure you join me on the Patreon, the All in Society Investing Group. It's also a newsletter where I share relevant information throughout the day. And then I give you all of my options plays, all of my long-term investing plays. Basically, I share my experience and all of my moves with you in real time. If you're interested in that, you can join for free. But if you want to see all of that, get the real-time trades, you're going to have to join. The membership is only $10 per month, where I guarantee you can get $10 worth of value. All right, so let me share my screen and we are going to get right to it. Okay. So first, let's hit Bitcoin and then we'll talk about the ARM and Nvidia partnership that we heard about after the bell today. So you see right here, we're right here today, or this circle where I'm circling. Hopefully you can see that. You see my cursor moving crazy right around here. You zoom in a little bit. We fell to about here, a little bit below 92,000. Now that 92,000 is a key number because you see this line, this dotted line across here. Previous episodes, we talked about supply zone and demand zone. So supply zone is where we see this peak right up here, around 126,000. That was our most recent all-time high for Bitcoin. You see, once it hit that level, then you see this steep decline here. That is what we call a supply zone, right? So there's more supply in the market because folks are selling. It means there is more Bitcoin out there for us to scoop up. All right, so your supply zone. Whereas demand zones, we see over a left-hand side, the very far left-hand side, you see the dotted line where we are. It's this red line right here. And you see right around that level is 92,000. And it bounces off that 92,000 and it runs up, right? Then it goes back down. Then it hits the supply zone, right? Pushes it down to our demand zone. Folks say, all right, it hit this level. This is where I'm comfortable buying. I don't think it's going to fall any farther, or they think that Bitcoin may be fairly priced at that level, and then it runs back up. And it's been doing that really over the past year. Now it does come down here. It does break that trend, and it comes all the way down here to 74,345 level. So it's extremely important that we hold this 92,000 range. Look, we even got one that hit down to about 89,205, right? So from 92 to 89 is kind of like the level where we're looking at. Now, if it pushes further than that, then look out. Then we're heading all the way down here to, like I said, that 74,247, more than likely. So it's very important that the next few days or however long throughout the end of the year, we get a little bit of bounce here and then we start riding back up. It seems like the Bitcoin has been trading alongside the S&P 500, and the S&P has been down for the past month. And we'll come over here and we'll just look at the S&P 500. And we see for the past month, it's pretty much flat. So actually it's not that bad. It's just Bitcoin that's been just been getting his butt kicked. But it's held in around that 6,600 level. We did get a peak around 69 and change, 69.10, and then it's kind of just trading in that range from that 66 to 69. We're kind of looking for our next catalyst to push the stock. To push the market higher. You already know right now tech stocks are really leading the market. These AI trades are leading the market. And right now the AI trade has been getting kicked in the face. So until we can find a next catalyst, which very well might be Nvidia um, on Wednesday because it reports earnings, uh, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We have to be patient and see what Bitcoin goes from here. So if you're someone who's itching to buy some Bitcoin, I would just be patient. Of course, always when we're investing, patience is key. We don't want to be emotional. You don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say, well, it just hit to that 92,000 range. I'm going to go all in now and ride this wave, more than likely back up. Let's just give it some time. Let's be patient and let's get some confirmation that it does bounce off of this 92,000 and decides to go higher. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention today. Okay. All right. Let's move on to next information that we got. Nvidia. So ARM custom chips get a boost with Nvidia partnership. Now, I read this article, but I was still kind of scratching my head trying to understand exactly what was going on here. So what I like to do, and I think you guys should make a habit of this, I like Google Gemini. Now you can use ChatGPT, Anthropic, you can use Claude, and whatever you feel the most comfortable with. I just personally myself enjoy using Google Gemini. And I just asked them a series of questions to just really understand what this partnership means and what it could potentially mean for NVIDIA moving forward, and the amount of revenue that they are bringing in. Remember, NVIDIA was getting a lot of their revenue, I think around 20-25% was from China before there was restrictions for them sending their chips over to China, especially their most powerful chips. Now, you might remember the president made a deal with Nvidia and he said, if you sell these chips over to China, we're going to get our cut. Well, that really never played out because right now, China is saying, Nvidia, we don't want them chips. We're going to use our own chips here, our own domestic chips. We don't need your chips. We good. So Nvidia is going to have to find ways to find other customers, find other revenue streams to get that money that they are potentially losing back, because Jensen Huang is greedy. He wants his hands in everybody's pockets, it seems. And he's saying, if you can go around me, I'm going to find a way to partner with these other folks that you guys are getting chips from. And I'm going to find a way to integrate our GPUs into ARM's CPUs. And so just a little bit of understanding what's the difference between a CPU and a GPU. So well, Google Gemini asks, really the CPUs are kind of like the brains of the operation or the manager. CPUs are kind of like the main component, right? Whereas the GPUs are almost like in addition to the CPUs that are going to handle complex tasks, and they can handle multiple of these tasks at once, especially like math problems and things of that nature. And really with that partnership makes it just a really strong chip. So a lot of the hyperscalers, and that's why I think this is very important. By hyperscalers, I mean Microsoft, your Amazon, and your Google. Instead of purchasing the GPUs from Nvidia, they were saying, we're going to go over to ARM to custom make chips for us. And so they're that kind of, scares Nvidia investors. They're like, oh, shoot, these guys who are spending and shelling out billions of dollars, they're finding another option to operate their needs. Well, Nvidia and Jensen Huang said, no, hold up, you guys can go over there, but I'm going to partner with ARM and I'm going to give you guys the option to link the CPUs from ARM with NVIDIA's GPUs using this NVLink Fusion technology. So this is pretty amazing. It seems like if you're dipping your toes in AI, Jensen Huang and NVIDIA is going to have their hands on it some way, somehow. And this is pretty amazing. It's just how powerful this company is and how everyone talks about Elon Musk and how amazing this man is and what the things that he's doing. I don't think that we give Jensen Huang the credit that we do Elon Musk. Um, this guy is absolutely amazing. He's finding any way possible to make sure that Nvidia stays on the top and make sure it stays the king of the mountain for an extended period of time, because a lot of the analysts and a lot of investors are saying this has to come to an end. Eventually, these guys are just spending billions of dollars on these chips, like your OpenAI and all of these companies are going to eventually they're going to slow down, or they're going to go through other avenues in order to accomplish whatever their needs are. Well, again, like I said, Nvidia and Jensen Huang's like, you're going to have to come through us one way or other. Don't forget, Nvidia tried to buy ARM years back, but that deal was struck down. Just imagine if Nvidia had this company underneath its belt as well. So I thought this was pretty eye opening, especially ahead of Nvidia's earnings on Wednesday. Nvidia's already announced these orders that are coming from not just the United States, other countries, and they're building out their AI infrastructure. So I don't think that this game is coming to a close anytime soon with Nvidia. And a lot of these analysts, if you hear Dan Ives, I think is his name. Sometimes there's another Dan that I get their names mixed up, but from Webbush. He's very bullish on Nvidia. He's bullish on Tesla as well. But anytime he talks about tech companies, I definitely listen because he goes overseas. He does his research. He's really understands these businesses and what's going on. He's still bullish on Nvidia. And so until he changes his tune, I'm going to be bullish as well. I'm a long-term investor. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to see how this all rides out. But my money is definitely on Jensen Huang and Nvidia because I think this man is truly brilliant. And I am not like most people. I am contrarian. Warren Buffett always said, "Be greedy when others are fearful." And right now, the market is extremely fearful, and that's why I'm putting my money on the best companies in the world. And if you're emotional and if you're scared of what's going on right now, I completely understand it. But this game is not for the emotional. This game is not for the weak. I think there's a game that's being played behind the scenes right now. I think these hedge funds are making the market right now very volatile because they want you to sell your shares because they know Nvidia is going to keep this going for X amount of time into the future. This game is not over. Even if Nvidia stumbles just for one quarter, you're like, if you're a trader, yeah, that sucks. If you were betting on Nvidia. But if you're an investor and you are, I'm just going to say, if you are a smart investor, you're looking at this in a long-term approach. We are still in the early innings of the AI build out. Another company like Vertiv Holdings is doing well. It's partnered with Nvidia. These companies are going to continue to make money hand over fist. I don't think it's slowing down this year. I don't think it's slowing down next year. Maybe 27, 28, we can have those conversations again. But I like what I see going forward. Now, Nvidia had a nice little bounce on Friday after it fell to a key area. Where is it at? It fell to about $180, and that was a key area for us to buy because that was a key level. That was the demand zone, and we can talk about it again. I'll pull up the chart so we can just get a visual, just like we did Bitcoin. And we don't have to go back the full year to really see what's going on here. We'll pull this is a 1 month chart, and we're just going to go to the hour, and we see here 180. Let's go back 3 months. I think it tested this multiple times. So here's 180 right here, and this dotted line right here, and you can see I'm looking right over here, the most recent it happened. So we see early November, it bounced off this 180. Actually, it was 178 195, so a little bit below 180, and then it shot back up. And then it pretty much did it again. It fell to 180 and change, and it bounced off of that. So we didn't get that today. QQQs fell to their key level, which was 600. I didn't think that we were going to get there again. I thought we were going to kind of trade between, like, let's say 610 to 605. And then after Nvidia's earnings, and the market would kind of shoot back up after it got some confidence, and Jensen Wong kind of confirmed and um, maybe put some to bears to sleep, sent him to hibernation after his earnings call that's coming up Wednesday. And time will tell if that's going to happen. But the QQQ, the NASDAQ, actually fell to that $600 level today, whereas Nvidia kind of held strong. It fell, but it did not fall back down to its 180 level. So that was good to see as well. So it's not just completely lost confidence in Nvidia after that bounce on Friday. But like I said, this 180 level, we've kind of see it's played around with this, it bounces, and it kind of consolidated in this area until it fell down to 177 range, and then it shot back up and we hit an all-time high. So, I mean, do with that information as you wish. Again, I am a contrarian thinker. I'm not going to just listen to what the masses are doing. Seems like not everybody wants to sell. I'm contrarian. I march to the beat of my own drum. I'm not a follower. I am a leader. I do my own research. A lot of people, and I think this is what the issues right now is, you look at this chart. Yeah, this chart doesn't look good. But if all you do is look at charts every day and you're not reading and researching and understanding what exactly you're invested in, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities because this chart doesn't look good. But if you understand the fundamentals of the company, you understand the news and the information that's coming out, you listen to the analysts and all of their research that they've done, they're all raising their price targets for Nvidia. And again, Nvidia could come out this quarter and not perform very well, or just meet expectations and don't raise guidance. But that doesn't mean in the future we're going to get a tick up in the current quarter we're in now, or the first quarter of 2026. And if you're just strictly looking at the charts and not really understanding the fundamentals, then that's going to be a detriment to you. You're probably going to, yeah, you might make some money, a little bit of short money in trades every now and then. But if you really want to take advantage of what Nvidia has to offer, which I think is going to be a $300 stock within a year, then you're going to have to dive in, understand the fundamentals, and have a long-term approach rather than trying to make a quick buck trading. Now, for me, I'm a fundamental investor, and I've really dived into the charts this year because I didn't want to just hold my head on just one thing. I want every year you should be leveling up, learning something new. I bought Jim Cramer's book, which I haven't dove into yet, but I'm going to start. I don't know everything. I want to learn from somebody who has been doing this for multiple years and is doing it successfully for over the years. You can say what you want about Jim Cramer, but this man has managed millions of dollars, maybe even billions at one point in his career. I'm going to listen to exactly what he has to say and learn from that. You don't have to listen to these folks and take their word for gospel, but get their information, learn from them, and then use whatever tools that resonate with you, what you understand, and build your own strategy. Don't just follow these people blindly. Develop your own strategy, develop something that works for you, something that works consistently so you can get gains from the stock market. But most importantly, make sure you have a long-term thought process. I know it's so easy to trade and it's very fun to trade and make quick money. But if you're going to lose a lot of money, you're going to miss these significant runs if you're just trading in and out of these companies. So I don't want to harp on that anymore. I did want to discuss what the market did overall today. Again, Bitcoin sitting around that 92,000. Even Ethereum is down pretty significantly as well. I might start buying some Ethereum too while it's down here. S&P 500 today. These are the scoreboards. We call the three major indexes, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow, the scoreboards. They kind of just tell you the score over the entire market. S&P down 1% today, pretty much all down 1%. Just a bloody day. We did We opened lower and then we popped earlier this morning and then it just kind of tapered off, unfortunately. We talked about Nvidia today. It was just last night. Nasdaq futures were looking promising, and then I woke up this morning and just like, well, the bears came in and just said we're going to drive the market down, and just Mondays, they did say in the past month or so, Mike Santelli said on CNBC that Mondays the volume have been pretty low. So that could have contributed to what happened today. Why we got this nice little bounce in the morning, but it just fizzled out because there's a lack of volume on Mondays for whatever reason. And so the bears took advantage of that and pushed things lower. But like I said, it was good to see that Nvidia did not fall to that 180 range again. Whereas we were talking about QQQ, it bounced off that 600 level. You see here, 682. I'm pretty sure it got below 600 at one point, and then it bounced back up to the 610 range. And then unfortunately, we fell back down to we fell to the low of today of 599.87, and then it bounced off of that. So it was good to see that it didn't take a really deep dive below 600. It played in that area, and then it bounced back up off at the end of the day. More than likely, like clockwork, the bears are going to come in. Maybe even right now, the futures are probably lower, and then we wake up in the morning. I guarantee the market's probably going to end lower because the bears are coming in pre-market, pushing shares down and trying to really take control. And like I said, I think this is all just kind of like a game that they're playing with you guys. They're pushing things down. They're making money off of that. As soon as Nvidia reports and there's no surprises to the downside, Jensen, after an initial report, shares might be lower if they don't just blow it out the water and just raise guidance in the initial print. But once the earnings call starts and Jensen Huang starts speaking, he normally can really speak up the market and really paint the picture of what's to come in the fourth quarter and then what's to come for 2026 and maybe even in the future. And that should probably give some investors confidence. And I guarantee we probably get a rally. If not that evening, we probably get a rally into the rest of the year and we close S&P 500 above 7,000. Right now we're at 6,672. I'm a full believer we're going to close higher. Maybe not 7,000, maybe like 6,975, 6,950. We get back to that high that we're at and maybe eclipse it just a little bit. But I'm a firm believer as long as, like I said, Nvidia doesn't just wet the bed and just completely flops. A lot of folks that have not performed well this year are going to pile in money and try to take advantage the year-end rally and try to make it look like their portfolios perform better than what they actually did. So I think there's going to be a lot of chasing going on, and that's going to be advantageous for us that are in position right now and did not get shaken out because we're not investing with emotion. We're investing with confidence. We've done our fundamental investing. If you want to understand fundamental investing, join the Patreon, the paid version. Then you can get our fundamental investing playbook. We break down how to open up a company. You can also get Jim Cramer's book if you want to. But if you want to join our community, join our community. We would love to have you. We talked about the QQQ. Some of the companies, these are the companies we have options on. It was good to see that Uber did well, finished green today. Another company that I want to talk about, Amazon. This, I think, is because Google, we talked about this last episode. Google finished up 3% today. It was disclosed that Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway was buying shares of Google in the third quarter, and that really sent Google shares higher. And I think maybe we saw a sell-off in Amazon because Amazon was doing very well after earnings, down 6% past 5 days, up 9% the past month. But Amazon was doing very well after earnings. I think you've seen a lot of selling off of that. People taking profits to probably move it into Google because they're chasing Mr. Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway's purchase of Google. Last thing I wanted to kind of bring you to your attention before we get out of here, Netflix. So you're probably like, whoa, Netflix, they tanked. Well, we got a 10-to-1 stock split. So for every 1 share you had, you were provided 9 additional shares. So you'll have 10 shares total. And shares are now trading at $110, down pretty much 1% for the day. Again, I want to reiterate, if you weren't buying it at $1,100, you shouldn't be buying it at $110. Okay, the value did not change. It's not any cheaper. Does it look cheaper? Absolutely yes, but its value is the same. Okay. Now we have shares of Netflix. We're not saying don't buy Netflix, but we're saying if you thought it was too expensive at 1,100, it is still expensive at $110. It's just they finagled the shares, and now it's a little bit more affordable. One thing I like, options trading should be a lot more affordable for Nvidia going forward if you want to jump in um, options with Netflix. And then I'll add one last thing. Robinhood is trading just like Bitcoin. It's down 15% just in the past 5 days, down 10% in the past month. Its high was $153. So we're 20% off of its high. We are in bear market for Robinhood. $114 is that key level. It did touch that today. It got down to 112. It more than touched it. It got down to 112 and bounced off of that. So it was good to see that bounce there. I'm not sure if that has any correlation of what potentially might happen with Bitcoin. We see the chart here. We got that nice little U at the end of the day. Does it look similar to Bitcoin? No, not really at all. So just be mindful of that. If you're someone who wants to get into crypto, but maybe you don't want to buy crypto directly, Robinhood would be a great way to play that going forward. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. There was something encouraging in here. If you're someone that's kind of off the edge and you really want to sell all your shares in the video, or any company that you might have tried that's tied to tech or the AI trade, just remain patient. This is a long game. Don't let them shake you out. If you're a long-term investor, just hold on, enjoy the ride. I guarantee in the future we'll be laughing and smiling. All right, enjoy your evening and enjoy Monday Night Football.